There we are.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Sorry, a little technical difficulty on my end. Welcome back to the Hard to Kill podcast. We have a repeat guest. This is the second time on the show. It's Mr. Mike Nakamura. How you doing, Mikey?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right, brother. So what do you want to get into today? Anything particular?
No, man. I mean, whatever comes up,
Yeah, well, so obviously me and Mike, very close friends, both corpsmen. And I'm filling in today as the head host. I'm normally just going to be a co-host, but me and Mike talk every day. And I just had a couple of notes that I want to bring up if you're cool talking about it.
Yeah, man.
All right. So we were talking about how some people just think corpsmen are just Navy, like straight up, like you're on a boat and that's all you do. So I kind of wanted to touch on what we had to do to be able to be Greenside corpsmen, like to be able to be attached to the Marines. So we have to go through what's called field med. Well, it's FMTB now, I think, or FMS. Well, I don't know what they call it anymore, but so can you touch on that? Give us a little background on like your experience with it and maybe, explain what it is a little bit.
Man, I mean, I went through field med in 2009 in North Carolina. So I think at that time, I think at that time the East Coast, we were the only school that was integrated. I think both are integrated now with male and females. But I mean, some people like to say it's like going through a second boot camp or whatnot. You just have like a little bit more freedoms, right? Like you can come and go as you please for certain evolutions or whatever. Or you get evenings off or whatnot. But I mean, it's basically where you get like your first interactions with Marines, like doing that job, right? Because you got your like corpsman instructors, and you have like you had like one Marine advisor, I think they call them.
One or two,
yeah. But I mean, my experience was kind of weird because I had already been at Lejeune for like a couple months, and like I was there for a while, and then having to go back into like the schoolhouse, like that kind of sucked. But I mean, plus it was like it's North Carolina, so it's like super humid and it's like terrible or whatnot. But I mean, it is a fun experience, to like you go through and like get your like camis, right? Before like you had camis like issued to you in boot camp, like that was a big deal. Yeah, like get your like actual like marpats.
Absolutely, man.
Like I remember that day, like just being stoked that I was no longer gonna have to wear those short boots. Like I was gonna have real boots that I got to wear or whatnot. Like I was like, oh, I don't have to shine my boots anymore. Like that's what's up.
Right.
Hell yeah. That was a big deal for me or whatnot. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like when I got there, I had to like come from second recon, and they told me to like check in with this dude. His name was H1 Schulter, and they're like very adamant. Like when you're there, check in with Schulter. Like he's gonna take care of you. And I was like, all right, cool. And Schulter was like a SARC.
Okay.
He was basically just at the schoolhouse as like the SARC guy.
So a SARC is, explain to everybody, please.
It's like a special amphibious reconnaissance corpsman.
Yep.
They're like the recon corpsmen or whatnot. And I like I saw this guy, but for some reason, like I like just didn't like go say hi to him. And then like a week went by, and then like another week went by or whatever. And then finally, like this guy ends up being like my instructor. And he like, man, this dude just like humiliated me in front of everybody for like not checking in with him or whatever. But it was kind of cool though, you know. I mean, I can't really remember the evolutions that we had to do. I mean, I know that there was like your general medical stuff. You had to go learn that or whatever. And
Which
then
you already
try.
knew, but yeah, it's like they just hammer it in more and they focus more on like the tactical, like combat medicine side of it.
Yeah, I mean, like you really only do like that for like a couple of days,
Yeah.
right? Like realistically, I think you like we just went and did like litter carries through an obstacle course or something. Like
Yeah.
I think that was about it.
But it like would so it is kind of like another boot camp, right? Like, I mean, what was it, 8 weeks? I think it was 8 weeks, right?
Yeah, I think I ended up being there for like 10 weeks or something like that. But yeah, it's like 8 weeks, and then you do like your classroom portions, and you have to go do like a Marine Corps PST or PRT or whatever.
Mhm.
And a lot of people like struggle with that because no one ever does pull-ups in the Navy, you know.
Right.
And then you go to the field week, like that's like stressful, right? Like field week is stressful, and then you have to do your humps. I can't remember. I think it was 3, 6, and 9.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the same for us too. I was on the West Coast. I was in Pendleton, so we actually did shit. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm sure, but like you don't have to deal with like the swamps and the humidity and stuff too. I would have like taken Pendleton if I could,
Right.
uh, but yeah, there's like that, and then rifle range week too, right? Like range week was like super fun.
Yeah. Actually get to go fire a weapon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always thought the craziest thing was though is that like you don't find out where you're going until like the day you graduate.
Yeah. So for us, like, so you graduate field med, and then this is just for first Marines. I'm sure it's the same for second too. But then you go to CTM, combat trauma medicine, and then you go through the live tissue lab. Did you guys do that too? Because that's when, like, at the end of CTM is when we found out where we were going. So you're still just kind of in the wind.
No, like I literally found out like some guy came to our graduation, and he was like, everybody's standing like, at attention or whatever, and they're like, call your name, and they tell you where you're going right then.
Okay.
So I think we knew that we were going to go to like division wing or MLG like the week
Yeah.
prior, but we found out our units the day of. And then basically, like, yeah, first day, like we graduate, you go pack your stuff up, they put you in the van, they drive you over to the unit or whatnot. And then I think we checked in on a Friday, so we got to just go home.
Yeah. But so you didn't do CTM right away? Or did they
No,
even
I
offer that
think
on the
that
East
like
Coast?
I did it maybe my first month there at battalion.
Oh, okay.
I
All
think
right.
within my first month there, we did live tissue CTM. We don't have CTM on the East Coast, so we just did live tissue.
Okay.
But then like all the senior guys there, like, I mean, they put us through the ringer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I bet, dude. But yeah, so that was us. And then, like, it was like the last 2 days and it's when they tried to kick your ass when we went through CTM. And then that's when we found out, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here. Because you didn't get a dream sheet, you know what I mean? Or a
Yeah.
wish list of I want to go here, here, here. No, they're just like, oh, you're going here, and you're like, oh, neat. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I
Luckily,
mean, I
I got
remember
lucky.
like some
You got
people
lucky.
like automatically knew they were gonna go, but they were like dental techs and whatnot.
Yeah. So they're going to MLG and all that.
Yeah, they're going like MLG, they're like doing all that stuff or whatever. So those guys already knew they were going. It was like quad zero guys who didn't know. But at the time it's like '09. So like basically we knew that like every single one of us was going to division.
Yeah. Yep.
We just didn't know which unit we were going to go to or whatnot. But I mean, I got kind of lucky because I ended up going to 2-2, and then I caught them like right in the middle of a workup.
Yeah.
So I got like to go there, do my live tissue, and then immediately just like go into training mode. I think like 2 months later, I was at Cats.
Yeah. So you got to miss a little bit of the pre-deployment training shit. I mean, it's all worth it, but you got to miss it. You got to out of a lot of it, if
The
you will.
big one, dude, was I got to miss Fort Pickett. Like
Yeah.
Fort
I'm
Pickett,
sure guys
Virginia
with
in the
cold weather,
wintertime.
right?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
like I missed it that year. And then like a year and a half later, I like had to go. And it was, oh dude, it was miserable.
Yeah. Well, see, because ours is in Bridgeport, California, and I mean, it's me being from Colorado and growing up in the mountains and doing that. It was kind of a little different for me. So it was a little easier on me, but goddamn, yes, it was fucking cold. And dude, you just could not warm up out there. It was like no matter how much, they give you all your winter gear, no matter how much you have on, they just, yeah, it's still just colder than hell.
Yeah, man. I mean,
The
I
bone,
remember
dude.
like, man, what are those fleece jackets or whatever? Like I didn't have one of those fleece jackets and I was like dying the whole time, dude. I was like putting every t-shirt on that I had and every sweatshirt or whatever. I remember like waking up and like I'd gone to sleep in the bivy sack with the black bag,
Yeah.
and I'd gone to sleep like that. And then I woke up and I could feel like the bivy sack like pressing on my face. And it was so cold, dude. And it had snowed on us that night. And I woke up and I was just like covered in a mound, dude. My zipper's all frozen. It took me like 30 minutes to get out of my bag.
Yeah. You're like looking for your knife to just cut out.
Oh, dude, we got cold injury casualties from Fort Pickett.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a few.
Yeah, so I mean, I remember all that stuff, and man, yeah, I was pretty happy that I missed that. That I only had to go one time.
Yeah, luckily only I only had to go once too.
Yeah, then we got for CAX, or we only went to CAX or whatnot, and that was fine, dude. I didn't mind CAX at all. Like, the only thing that sucks, like no cell phone reception, and you have a lot of downtime sometimes,
Yeah.
Plus, like the chow hall is like always packed, like the food sucks, so you always just going to what's called the Warriors Club or whatnot. But I mean, playing spades at the Warriors Club for a couple hours, man, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, no shit, huh? Yeah, that's where I learned how to play spades, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal, man. Like if someone lets you get in a game or whatever, and
Oh
get
yeah.
like a nice like table going, and I remember like sitting on the outside benches there for like a couple hours, like, and like our units took up the whole thing. We are all playing spades.
Oh yeah. Yep. It was, and then some rummy. I was big on rummy. I still am today. Like I just learned from my grandma back in the day. And I mean, it's kind of the same concept, but yeah, dude, like, and that's all you had to do because you had no internet, you had no phone. You're like, well, fuck, we have cards. Let's play some cards, dude. And it helped you kind of embrace the suck of it all too. Like,
I think
because
everybody was kind of just holding on for Warriors Night or whatever when they brought the beer truck in.
oh, dude, yeah, we got that yeah, yeah. And everybody got like 2 tickets because you were only allowed 2 beers. And then there was guys that didn't drink and they're like handing off their tickets for like $10 or something. Like those guys made some money. So dudes could keep going up and getting beers. But yeah. And
Yeah.
you get an overcooked steak and some, yeah.
Yeah, man, we had some cool officers or whatever, and like this dude, Captain Banton, he was a Harrier pilot. He like had his own car somehow, and that dude ran to the exchange and like bought a bunch of beer and brought it back and stuff. So everybody got more than just 2 apiece.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so we did that, and then we go to our units, and obviously on the first episode you were on, we talked about your experience a little bit. But if you're comfortable doing it, dude, because I know me and you talk about it, but if you don't talk about it on here, that's fine. But like with PTSD and depression and anxiety and all that, because I know we've both, if I'm fair to say it, you can tell me shut the fuck up, but I know we've both been through our, I still do counseling. I have an appointment tomorrow. I know you've been through, your shit too. So how how what was the best way you were dealing with that? I mean, I know you're doing jujitsu now, and that fucking helps you a lot. But
Yeah, man, like,
you're dealing with it, man.
well, I run a lot too, man. Like, so I'm running like right now, like between like 30 and 50 miles a week or whatever.
Hmm.
So you can't like, yeah, I mean, your brain can't really like keep going if your body's tired.
Yeah,
So I basically just like stay on the move, right? Because if I'm on the move, then like you can't really let things get to you or whatnot. So I do that, man. So running like helps a lot. Jiu-jitsu obviously helps a lot, man. Like just lifestyle wise, because you can't
yeah,
have like a shitty lifestyle and then like get in the gym and expect to like be able to like hold your own fighting, especially you're doing like, hour-long class plus like an hour of sparring afterwards or whatnot. And some of these guys are like really good, right? They're like really talented. So you want to like get to that level where you can like hang with them at least. So you're not just getting tapped out like every 30 seconds.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, jiu-jitsu helps in that way, right? Like you gotta get your diet straight, right? You gotta like have your emotions straight when you come into the gym, like be focused, and then like the focus is a big one, right? Because like you're just so focused on like one, you're hyper focused like while you're there. Like don't get tapped out, don't get submitted, like don't do these like these things, and you kind of just get your minds like sorted off onto a different path for a little while. So I mean that helps a lot, you know. I mean there's other things too, just like learning how to relax or whatnot, and therapy obviously like helps a lot, if you can
Yeah.
like get it, like it seems like I just went from like Fresno to here, and like Fresno it's super easy to get it, but like down here it's like not because the system's like so overloaded. So there's that, right? Like staying in therapy or whatever, psychotherapy or whatever. And because I tried a bunch of stuff, man. I've done like regular therapy, I've done group therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. Uh, I did like meditation classes too. But
Hmm.
I mean, it's all a process, you just got to find like what works for you eventually. Maybe it's like a combination of therapy and medication or therapy and like recreational activities or whatnot.
Yeah,
Um, Having
absolutely.
school helps a lot too, man, because like your mind just gets focused on like, okay, I got these tasks, right? Every week I have to like complete these tasks, boom, they're all done, plus keeps you like on a schedule so you can get regular or whatnot. So that like helps a little bit. Plus, you're going to school, so you're like learning about different topics and like getting a little bit more exposure. So maybe it helps you become like a little bit more empathetic or sympathetic to like situations or whatnot. Opens your
Yeah.
mind a little bit. Uh, but yeah, man. I mean, those are the things that I do. Sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I just need to zone out. Watch a movie, watch some sports, something.
A little every once in a while.
Yeah, man, maybe at nighttime a little bit to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yep.
at nighttime go to sleep a little bit, little self-medication or whatever, medicinal use only.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. So like, because I know it was a big thing, like for me, like I went through a really hard time when I got out, and I was, you know, just toxic marriage. Just toxic. You kind of witnessed it firsthand, bro. So
Yeah, I mean, I remember you getting out, and like it being real difficult for you or whatnot. I remember for like maybe like a couple months there, it was like touch and go.
yeah, it definitely was, dude. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. It was, man. It was bad. It was bad. And then I finally got into therapy, started taking it serious. And, it helped me, but it didn't help my marriage. obviously we got divorced. Um, but that's when I started taking it really, really serious and like, trying to find like extra stuff for me to do. And that's when I got back into playing guitar again too. And, it was just, it was an outlet that was just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, that's like what jujitsu is for me, right? Like I only go in there for me.
yeah. I mean, can I play the fucking guitar? Not really. But I try and it helps me, so I don't give a shit. I'm not Eddie Van Halen. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, it's like whatever, like I get tapped out more than I win for sure, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
But
Absolutely. And I mean,
I mean,
that's life.
I definitely remember you getting out and like having some like issues, right? Like money issues, marital issues was like a big one,
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, I remember like you like calling me saying the guys packed up the Xterra and took all my stuff, you know. I mean, I remember that conversation pretty vividly.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I remember that pretty vividly, I mean, I got out as a little bit different, I mean, I had like was like just finishing up my divorce or whatever, but lucky for me, like I kind of had like a plan, you know. My plan was like, okay, I'm gonna go back home. I start school like a week later or whatever, and then that kind of kept me on like a real steady path, right? Back to like sanity, right? Back to a place where I was like, oh, this is how normal people should act,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And so like, doing all that stuff like that like helped me transition a little bit easier. The only hard part is like being in your 30s going back to college. Because then you're like trying to relate with the generation that's like one behind you. And that can be difficult. So it's a humbling experience, man, to like go back to school in your 30s and you're like, I can't really relate to your problems.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And especially, coming from like our backgrounds, being a combat veteran and all that, you got a lot of people that are going to be in your class or whatever. And they're just like, what? Like, they just don't get it. And that can be frustrating too. I know that was one of my biggest problems when I started going back to school when at first, I'm not doing it anymore. Just I had to quit for personal reasons, with everything
Yeah,
with the media and all that. So,
yeah, I mean, it's like difficult at times, right? So most of the time I'm just there checking the box, like I'm just there so I don't get fined. And
right. All right,
like,
Marshawn.
go home,
Calm
do the
down.
work, and like submit it, go to class or whatever. If the class doesn't require me to like come in every day, then I just don't do it that much anymore,
Yeah.
because I'd rather just like keep a better schedule for myself, you know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. At this point, school is easy, man. I'm just like phoning it in. I'm just like phoning it in, just trying to like knock this out.
Yeah. Get it over with.
Yeah, man, knock it out, get it over with, get moving on to the next thing, try to figure out what that is, But I mean, that's what helped me like stay on my path was like going to school, getting focused on that, Plus, I had a kid. So I was like, focused on like, okay, I got this kid, I got to like do these things, right? I have to like, go to school, immediately come home, COVID happened. So I was like at home with her for like a year and like that was like a struggle in and of itself because like I'm like a new dad, don't really know what to do. And like
Yeah.
I'm like going to college online, having to like bottle feed an infant, like while I'm on Zoom calls and stuff and taking midterms and finals with like a crying baby right next to me and whatnot. So that was an experience. I definitely don't want to go back to that. That was rough. Um, but that kept me on like a pretty focused path too.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I could understand that anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I know, like, and I speak for myself here. Like, I was a wreck when I got out, man. Like, I had no, I went down a bad rabbit hole. Like you brought that up, and like I just had no purpose, and I'm like, the fuck am I doing, dude? And then I let myself go down that rabbit hole, and I was bad for a while, dude. And finally, once I started working again, um, like I kind of pulled myself out of it, but at the same time, like the damage was kind of already done with like my first marriage and all that. And it happens. I mean, I'm not telling any of these veterans that are listening or anything. Like I'm not telling most of them, sadly, like I'm not telling them a story they don't know. But yeah, man, it was finding that purpose, dude. And I'm so proud of you because yeah, I mean, obviously you're one of the smartest fucking dudes I know. And which isn't saying much, so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not that smart, man. I'm not that smart. I'm just knocking this out, you know. But I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
yeah, I mean, I remember you like getting out and it was pretty rough, you know. I think it's also difficult too because you were like the first one of us to get out,
Yeah,
basically. So like we were all still out there like grinding, right? So I mean, I know that like Derek was in Guam, right? Another corner friend of ours, he was in Guam, and you know, the rest of us like either went back to the Marines or like me, like I sold out, like went to a pre-com destroyer, you know, and I was super busy with that, you know.
yeah,
Those
no.
guys were working me like 19 hours a day, you know. So
Oh, I
uh,
remember. I remember the phone calls I'd get from me, bro, and I'm like, fuck. Yeah, you were
yeah,
not
man. Because I
not
mean,
happy.
like everything was built, right? So I had to write SOPs, I had to like take care of like all the logistics and like do demos and like it's demos for like a brand new ship and so like you're that and like doing accounting for it and still having to see patients or whatever and you're just kind of like floating, right? And then like we like talk on the phone and you're like damn, maybe probably like I kind of missed that, right? But I'm like bitching about it, you know. I'm like bitching about like damn man, they got me doing this stuff and I'm not really digging it and you're like I would kill to do that right now again. So I
Yeah.
mean, that was I'm sure that was like kind of difficult still hearing us like be out there doing our thing or whatnot. But because I kind of get that, you know, because like you know, like my kid's mom, like she's still in and she'd be talking about these things and complaining or whatever, and I'd be like, oh man, the boys, I miss this, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I kind of miss that in a way, you know, that camaraderie just through like, yeah, the suck, you know, of the day
So,
to day.
like, I remember when you and Derek were going up to somewhere. You guys are going up to teach class. I was already out. You guys were still in, and I was gonna dog sit for Derek. And just seeing you guys, I'm like, can I come? Like, you know what I mean? But I was like, I was dog sitting for Derek, and or no, actually, I was still in actually. But no, they denied me going just because they needed me. But yeah, it was one of those things. Like just knowing you guys are out there doing that, like out teaching a class, like because I love being an instructor, dude, and I know you did too. And but yeah, like seeing you guys like go away, and I'm like, oh, but I want to go, and I couldn't go, and it just sucked. I'm like, oh, I guess I go back sit in front of a fucking computer again tomorrow. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, you know, I mean, uh Derek Derek is like a cool guy to like have on stuff like that though, right? Because my
yeah,
mind and his mind like work completely differently. But like when we're together, we can like find this common ground or whatnot. And
hmm,
he's like someone I still talk to like today, like just vent off on with because his perspective on things is so unique to like how my mind thinks. You know,
yeah.
if I call you and I'm like, fuck this stuff, you know, you're like, yeah, fuck that stuff. But I talk to Derek. Derek gives me like this other like, oh well, maybe though it's like for a good purpose, right? And I'm like, all right, spit your traffic to me. And he spits it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, you know, and um,
It's
I mean,
like having a it's like having a second dad almost.
yeah, except for I'm older than Derek, but like,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, we both are,
uh,
but still,
but
like I said, he's one of the smartest motherfuckers I know, dude.
yeah. Plus, like, he's always down for my shenanigans. Like anything, I'm like, hey man, I think about doing this. He's like, you should do it. You should do it. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm always like appreciative of his input or whatnot into whatever I'm spitting out to him. But yeah, I mean, that transition is rough though, man. I mean, I remember like being in my like TGPS class, like my separation class, and there was this girl, and dude, we're like on like day 4, right? Like one more day and like we're all done, right? We can basically separate, get our checkout sheets.
Yeah.
And like on day 4, they're like asked us to put our address, our forwarding address on this paperwork. And she's like, oh, I don't have a forwarding address. And the guy was like, oh, you just don't know where you're gonna live yet? And she goes, no, I don't have any place to go. And like was like talking about how like she was like in the system and then she joined the Navy and she's like an undead seaman, so she only had like a 3-year contract. And she said the girl had nowhere to go. And I was just, wow, like that. I never thought that was a real thing until I saw it firsthand or whatever. Luckily, like the
Yeah.
dudes taught the class like were super solid and they were able to like get her a quota and she was able to like stay in the Navy or whatnot. But that girl was like 24 hours away from homelessness.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, that's something too. Yeah, a lot of people don't think about that. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, dude, that's nuts. I would have like offered her a room at my house, been like, you can at least for now, you know what I mean? Like we have 2 spare rooms, go ahead. Like that's yeah, that's fucked up, man. Like someone that goes, yeah, you said she was an undead seaman, which is, you know, they fucking work their asses off. But she signed the dotted line to serve her country, and now she's 24 hours away from being fucking homeless. Like, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with it, right? But like also it's a lot of it's personal responsibility, right? Accountability,
Yeah,
right? So I mean, like I worked with like a veterans program up in Fresno State, you know, I mean, you know, I mean, I work
yeah,
with them and whatnot, and like they give free college to students, right? Like you don't have to use your GI Bill, and then you take 6 classes, and then you get direct entry into Fresno State, which is like an amazing deal, you
yeah,
know. And like I'd go in there and like ask people if they needed help, and like the only thing people really wanted was like, how do I get 100% disability, you know? And that
yeah,
like really irks me because
yeah,
like it just shows you like how many people out there are like um really stretching the truth to
yeah.
like to
Keep
make
going, Mike.
bank,
I just got
you
to
know?
grab my charger, dude. Keep going.
So that's like a weird thing for me.
No, yeah, like that's huge with me too. You know, like I mean, you got guys like us that have, you know, I mean, there's guys way worse than us, but have serious injuries, and you know, you do have those suckers, you know. They're like those little fish that clean the tank, you know, the little sucker fish. They're
Well,
like,
yeah,
hey,
man. I mean, they're just trying to grasp onto whatever they can, you know, they can
mhm,
get or whatever. And I
yeah,
get that too, you know, I get that. And yeah, okay. I mean, like I get like 100% and like it allows me to like chill out a little bit, you know, like I
yeah,
don't have to like try as hard. The struggle isn't as real or whatever. But I mean, um, still I don't like take it for granted, you know. I'm like always just like, all right, well, I got this money, but I'd rather not have this money and be like 100% again, you know?
right. Yeah,
So
you're like, this is cool, but it fucking sucks too. Like, what
yeah, I mean it's cool, you know, you get a
body
handicap
hurt?
plate or whatever, but like I'd rather not have the handicap plate, you know?
Yeah,
So,
no, I feel you. I'm the same way, dude.
but I mean, like, yeah, man, that program at Fresno State is like the same thing, right? Like, while I was there, like, dude, I saw them like give free housing away to veterans who were like homeless or at risk, you know. I saw these dudes like give laptops, and like asking for like nothing in return except for like your success. So, I mean, that's like another thing that helps you though, right? Is like finding like a group like that or an outlet or people who are like truly out there to like serve like that community of people, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
mean that program, man, like that definitely like made a big difference for me. Plus they gave me a job, right? Like my
Yeah,
first job out the Navy, like they gave me a job working for like the dean of global ed. And like, dude, that guy hooked me up anytime I had an issue with stuff, you know, he hooked me up. I mean, you know, like I was in the hospital for a little while, had to have like emergency surgery, missed my
yeah,
finals. That dude made sure that like it was all taken care of for me and, you know, no stress at all. And Um, shoot, I mean, he still paid me for like a month of work, like for not even coming in, you know? Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so I mean, like, yeah, finding that those people, that core group who can like help build you up, right? It's like that's so huge. And it's like what people say, right? Like, show me who your friends are, I'll show you who you are. You know, it's just, it's who you like build up around you, who like makes up who you are, what your character is.
Yeah. Well, like, and we've talked about it a few times, but I mean, like with Amanda, my late wife, like the phone would ring, we'd be getting ready to watch a movie or something, or getting ready to have dinner, and she'd see, because we had no secrets, dude. I left my phone on the counter 90% of the time. She knew how to get into my phone. I knew her password. There was just nothing, you know what I mean? It wasn't
Mhm.
that type of thing. But she'd just see the screen and see it was you. And she's like, answer it. And I'm like, well, we're dinner. And she's like, answer it. I'm like, yes, ma'am. And because it's finding that group too. And obviously you're part of mine and I'm part of yours. Um, but yeah, man, because you never know what that phone call is, and that's the shitty fucking thing that a lot of people that aren't like us, they don't get that. Like that could, that phone call could save someone's life. Because I know I've had those. I'm sure you have, where you answer and you actually talk somebody off the fucking ledge.
Yeah, I mean, like, that
Get
was like a
them.
rough time for me, like when you and Amanda first got together, because I was like going through divorce. My ex-wife was like taking a bunch of money from me, right? So I was broke as hell, you know. Uh, I was like out here in San Diego, like all by myself, like getting all lonely and stuff, you know. And at the same time, I'm like going through like my TBI rehab stuff and
Yeah.
kind of feeling like a piece of shit, you know. I mean, you know, like that ship did me dirty, like leaving. Um, wouldn't let me get my e-swas, like drop me in like sailor rankings, like it matters or something. And really just did me dirty, man. Made me go work with the guys waiting court martial, like picking up trash
Yeah.
for no reason at all, you know,
Yeah.
other than like I went and asked for help. Like legitimately, like I went to like 32nd Street psych and got help. And then like got kicked off the ship for like saying like I'm in like a bad mental space. And then they just
Yeah.
treated me like garbage leaving, like absolute garbage.
Well,
But I mean, again, though, right? Like they sent me that Point Loma place afterwards, right? Found a great network of people there, and basically spent that whole year, just like year and a half, really, year and a half, just going to appointments, playing golf. That was great for me. Uh, and like talking to you on the phone. But yeah, I mean, you know that there was nights where I was just like sitting in my place, like real lonely. So I'd call you up or whatever. Or even recently, you know, like I call you up and like I'm having like kid mom problems, you know, and I'm
yeah.
not really calling it like bad mouth or vent, right? I'm just saying like, oh, I'm struggling right now, you know, like life is real.
Oh yeah, dude. There's been times, between me and you, like I literally did not say a word for a fucking hour and just letting you go, but you need
Yeah.
it, and that's important. And I wish every veteran that's like struggling, anybody, period, that's struggling with like anything mental health wise, that they have someone like you, or me, like, because I got Alex and I got Derek and all them, Derek Schuster, not Derek Ward, but
Yeah.
mm, like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm an earpiece, man. Bend my ear. I'm here. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, for
I
sure, man.
mean,
I mean, because I call you, you're an hour ahead of me too. So if it's 10 o'clock, it's 11 for you, you know. But I've definitely called you at 11 o'clock at night and been like, oh, I need to let some steam go right now, you know.
yep. I mean, I could be laying in bed and you're like, yeah, I need to talk. I'm like, cool, man. Give me just 1 second. Let me put on some flip flops. you
Yeah.
know, and and like the same thing, like with me and Nick, the curator, the founder of this
Yeah.
podcast. He's the same way, like he's one of my Marines, and same way. I tell him the same thing too, like, dude, call me. And that's how I got into help, or I guess helping or doing this podcast, is through Nick and him, like, let's get you on. And I'm like, okay. And then after that, it was like, hey man, why don't you be on more? I was like, absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, because the struggles are like something you can't really like comprehend if you like never been through it or whatever, But I
Yeah.
mean, they're like very real, very vivid issues, And I
Yeah.
mean, like you've like helped talk me off a ledge like many times, right, over this past like year, many times. So uh this stuff's just like day to day, just take it day by day and see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, it's like finding that outlet, that group of people who like, unbegrudgingly like will help you,
Yeah.
they're just like always there. So yeah, that stuff's like very important.
Yeah. Definitely, man. And and that's one of the main focuses of this is to reach out, and let people know there is a network. I could know you from fucking Adam, but if you need to talk, you know what I mean? Like, hit me up. I
Yeah.
can't, I'm not a therapist, obviously. But I'll at least be there and at least give you what I think. And you know what I mean? Because I've been through it, and there was that day I called you even, and fucking Alexander was the corpsman that actually took care of me in an ER. I was sitting on my front porch at 5 o'clock in the morning with a pistol on my lap drinking beers. And I was ready to just fucking call it. And finally, my ex-wife came out and I was like, you need to take me to the hospital right now. Right now. And the whole, yeah. Did I handle that right? No. But did I start getting the help I needed? Yes. Because I was ready to just suck start that pistol, bro. And I know you know that feeling, and we've had too many friends that have done that. And yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, man. I remember that like pretty vividly because I was still in when that happened.
Yeah, we
Too.
both were. We
And
both were. We were still
yeah,
working staff ed.
yeah. So I remember that like pretty vividly, But yeah, you're right, man. Like a lot of like my friends like have like decided to like take their own lives in like different ways or whatever, But like over the years, like that circle has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller because of it.
Yeah,
But you never really know what someone's going through on the inside.
yeah. You never know, and like that's one thing. Like with guys like you and me, like I'm proud of us, and that might sound cocky or selfish or whatever, but we've learned to open up and talk about shit. I was talking to a friend today. I'll let them remain nameless, but she had just done her therapy today. She had therapy and she has a shitty custody situation and all that shit. Just going through hell. And she's not military or anything. She's just, I call her my sister. I've known her since we were wee little kids. And she told me, I was like, yeah, it's kind of like a dumpster fire. And she goes, yeah, but all I did was just close the lid. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of guys do. A lot of people do. Yeah, there's a fire in there. Instead of trying to put out the fire, you just close the lid and think it'll just go out all on its own. And I thought that was a badass quote, dude, because it's true, isn't it? I know you can relate a little bit. I know I can for sure.
That's a good analogy, It's a good analogy for like what it's like, I'm pretty open with the stuff, man. If someone asks me, or whatnot, or like kid's mom, I'm like super like open with her about it, or as much as I like can be.
Yeah,
But like yeah, you sometimes you meet some people though, and they're like really easy to talk to, you just kind of vent off to them about it or whatnot. Um, because like for me, like yeah, I didn't have any issues before like deploying and like doing whatever. I came from like a pretty like mellow household, like my dad's like super chill. My mom is like normal mom, very like loving, caring or whatnot.
yeah, I love your mom, dude.
Yeah, yeah, right. My mom's like says hi to everybody. Like everyone's her friend. It's like a weird thing, but like that's who she is, And I mean, like the only thing that would like set me apart is that my parents like were divorced, But besides that, like, yeah, man, like came from like a somewhat like well-to-do family, like small business owners and what have you, And then I go do this stuff and it's like, whoa, like my mind wasn't ready for it, even though I had like prepped myself as best as I could. Like my mind wasn't really ready to comprehend like everything. I don't even know if it's still ready to comprehend everything. I mean, there's a lot of things that like I remember and I feel like I'm misremembering them at this point, So I have to really like sit back and like think about it, like really think. So I mean, like last year I started journaling some of these things because I was like, if I put it on paper, maybe it's gonna make a little more sense to me or whatnot, So
I got you there.
it's a legal pad, not a journal, for sure.
I have a journal. It's a letter bound.
But
And
I
it's
mean,
very
yeah, it's like that, right? Like I write things down, like try to figure it out or whatever, try to work it out. But sometimes it doesn't work out that well. But I mean, just going through that process is helpful.
yeah. Yeah, I write shit down all the time. Like I don't like every once in a while I'll sit down and I'll actually just like journal. But it'll be just stuff will pop up and I'll write it down. Because either I'll bring it up in counseling or I'll bring it up like talking with you or doing the podcast. But it still just helps to like write it down, especially if it's like you're like, why the fuck are you having that negative thought right now? And you can kind of write it down. This is me. I'm speaking for myself. But write it down and then be like, okay, why are we thinking that right now? And try to, figure it out. But if not, like I said, I'll bring it up in counseling. Be like, hey, this is a thought I had this week. I don't know why, but
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what more people should do, Like I should probably do that, but instead I'm like, I'm just gonna go for a run and beat my body, Like I'm just like, I'm
yeah,
gonna go do 6 miles real quick.
yeah. No, I get that too, Like I wish I could lift like I used to, but fucking, with this whole fun stuff right here. Can't really lift too many weights anymore, but I do the rower and I'll sit on that fucker and a good 30 minutes on that thing with it all the way cranked up, like the most tension you can have on it. That's a good workout. And it's
Yeah,
better than nothing.
I mean, I know you think I'm crazy because sometimes we talk on the phone and like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to the gym right now and I'm gonna go for like a run and go do some stuff. And then I talk to you later and it's like, what are you doing? It's like I just got done with jujitsu. And it's like I'm doing 2 days for no reason, but it's like, yeah, man, I got a lot of stuff in my mind. So I gotta like work that out some way, you know?
Yeah. No, and I get it. I just give you shit to give you shit. But
That's probably
you
more
got
like,
that. You got that samurai brain, because you're Asian and whatnot.
well, I'm just smarter than you too. So I mean, there's also that. But
Yeah, you're better at math for sure.
yeah. So I mean, but I mean, sometimes like that works against you, man, because I have like a very like linear brain. So like I see things like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or whatever. And like if I have to jump from like 1 to 5, I'm like I get thrown off, right? So like
Mhm.
I have to like go back 2, 3, 4, right? And then like knock those out. But I mean, running, jujitsu, meditation, therapy, talking, writing, right? They're all just like different tools that you have, right, to like utilize when you're like going through these things or whatnot. And it's
Yeah.
like knowing that like you can have and create your own healthy outlets, right? Instead
Mhm.
of like choosing some other like nefarious path.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to throw nefarious out there. I know that's a big word for you, but but yeah, man, it's just about like finding those like healthy outlets, and sometimes you use them, sometimes you don't, but either way, they're there.
Yeah. No, and and that's the thing too. And it, I'm very interested in it, like mental health and all that. But like, you got to figure what helps you doesn't help me. What helps me doesn't help the next guy. You know what I mean? Like, you have to find your rhythm, and I'm glad that you're getting there. I mean, is it ever going to be perfect? No, no, it's probably not, dude. And that's the shitty thing. But as long as you're working on it, because will I ever be? I hope so one day, but probably not. And as long as you're working on it, though, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I know you
mm,
make fun of me because I go get massages or whatever, right? But it's not really about the massage. It's more so like about like for like an hour, my world stops, right? And I can just
yeah,
relax, right? Like my only job is to relax. And like so I'm trying to like train my brain to like do that, right? Just stop for an hour.
yeah, absolutely. No, I give you shit just to give you shit as boys, but no, I get it. Like I'd love a good fucking massage, bro. But you know, it's always just weird, like the touchy. I don't know. Like if I get over that in my head, then I'm fine. Like having somebody else that is not like your significant other put hands on you like that, it's just weird to me. But I do love a good massage. I will say that once I can get, out of here with it, then, and then you're just, yeah, you're lost, dude. The last one I had, we took a vacation down to St. Croix. Fancy, I know. And had a couples massage. Dude, I was snoring. Like I just passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And poor Amanda, she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She was so embarrassed. And I'm like, why are you embarrassed? The purpose is to relax, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, if you get to
Yeah,
that
I go
point, like
sleep on the bed.
that's like good, you know?
Yeah. They were just laughing and shit too. I'm sure I'm not the first one. Won't be the last one.
I mean, I feel like if that was my job, that'd be like a big compliment that somebody just fell asleep on me.
Exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. I'm like, that should be a compliment, if anything.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man.
Well, fuck, Michael. Anything else, buddy? You want to touch on or bring up or
No, man, I'm pretty good, you know. Unless you got something else you want to talk about or whatever, Chris.
yeah, no, I was trying to make notes, but we touched on a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. We talked about it the first time you were on. So just I mean, it's kind of hard for me because I know everything about you and I'm trying to think of questions that you can answer that would intrigue the audience and stuff. Um I don't know. So what's your next 6 months look like?
Oh man, next 6 months. Let's see. I got to finish out this semester of school or whatever. Um, got to finish out this semester, you know, like I'm trying to get my substitute teaching starting on the side, you know. So like every Friday I'm gonna start subbing um down here in San Diego. So that's like something I'm getting going right now. Trying to see if I want to do that like career wise, possibly, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but in the summertime, right? So do something with my little girl, maybe take a trip with her, if that's possible, you know. Go do some fun stuff, take a break for a little while, you know. I've been going pretty hard for the past like 2 years, 2.5 years or whatnot.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, bro.
taking like a nice little break, just kind of slowing down or whatever, enjoying her company. That's like pretty big, you know. Uh, so I mean, just that, man, just that, just school, my daughter, and uh, maybe rolling if I get some time, right? Uh, hopefully I can get a better schedule for next year so I can roll more. You know, right now I'm only rolling like 3 to 4 days a week. I like to be like going there like 5 days if possible. You know, it's cheaper than therapy.
Get that blue belt.
I mean, I'm very close. I'm very, very
I
close.
know
So
you are. I know you are, and I'm proud of you for it, dude.
I'm like getting pretty stoked now. So, but yeah, I mean, just that really, you know, substituting on the side just to kind of like stay busy, keep my mind working, you know, try something new. that stuff makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm gonna go do it and face that and see how that goes. Scary that someone says that they'll let me teach children, but whatever.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but you brought it up, so
Yeah, they probably shouldn't let me, but they do. So I mean,
you just gotta not say fuck, all right?
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty good at that when I'm working, doing stuff or with kids or whatever, you know. So I mean, shoot, I mean, they let me have a kid, so I mean, they might as well let me teach one.
You got a good point there, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, man, but that's about it for me. Just doing that or whatever, man. Maybe do a little bit of traveling, let's do some sightseeing maybe this summer. See what's
That
different. Take the dog, put him in the truck, and just go.
well, and that's my plan once this, because my lawsuit should be done here pretty quick, and then I just want to go travel for a bit, dude, and just get away, you know? Because like financially, I'm set, you know, I'm stable right now because I'm not allowed to work because of the fucking lawsuit. But luckily, I have enough money, and you know, I was smart with my money, which shocker, right? Um, yeah, go travel. I'm definitely coming out there. I want to go up to the property and just kick it. I'll go golf with you. You're just so you can laugh.
Oh, I'll laugh for sure. I'm pretty sure you'd be terrible.
I'm Happy Gilmore in that shit, bro.
I'll put money on that you'd be terrible at this.
I wouldn't even. No, don't put money on it. I'm already telling you, I'm terrible at it.
The couch is always ready for you whenever you show up, you know?
Hell yeah, dude. And you know, same here. There's always room for you here.
No, I'll take the waterbed if I'm over there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You go on that one. Yeah, I still have a waterbed, people. But
Yeah, man. Is there anything else, Chris?
no, brother, I love it, and obviously, I want to keep having you on, and I know Nick did too. He really enjoyed that interview, and I know the audience did too as well. But yeah, we're just trucking here, and yeah, dude. I mean, every time I think about like having you on or having Alex on, I write notes that way I have a little something to touch on. And yeah, dude, no, I love you and thank you for doing it. And yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I want to say I love you because,
Say it out loud. Do it.
No, I love you too, man. Appreciate it, man.
All right, brother. Well, yeah, we'll talk soon, man. And again, I appreciate it. Everybody, this has been Mike Nakamura on the Hard to Kill podcast. I'm Chris Martin, and we will hopefully be talking soon.
Or
All right, bro. Right.
you have to stop recording, Chris.